Hello, Internet! Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers R.E.D. Optimus Prime. What does R.E.D. stand for? R.E.D. stands for Robot Enhanced Design. So this is kind of like a superposable version of Transformers, officially licensed or officially created by Hasbro. Very similar to the Robot Damashi line, but bigger. Removing the figure from the box, we can see what comes in the box. We have the figure itself, which is hella heavy. And then we have all of the figure's accessories. We got a couple sets of different hands, an axe, gun, and hello, Matrix of Leadership. And I love the little backdrop that comes with the figure. It's just the figure and then just this really nice blueprinting effect. You have all the different parts, his head, his arms, his hands. I really like this effect. The figure is held into the plastic by two very easily removable and cuttable zip ties right around the midsection. And I cannot argue with the overall look of the figure. It looks fantastic. It doesn't quite feel like a traditional Transformer though, and I mean that plastic-wise. The plastic has a much softer feel to it, and kind of weird. But the figure itself is heavy. I mean, this thing has some heft to it, but it feels about the same as Earthrise Prime, even though Earthrise Prime stands a full head and chest taller. Getting Prime's chest open isn't exactly easy. The best thing I found is to wedge my fingernails into the sides here and just flick them open, and once you've got one partially open, you can then open up his chest and plop in the Matrix of Leadership, which itself is not very easy to get out of the packaging. Though getting the Matrix in is not too hard, it just fits right into place, and you could close up the window. I do find it a bit strange that it's so visible. I would have loved to have had these windows be more like, again, Earthrise, where they're just kind of blue and not clear. Or maybe even the option to swap them out with clear ones or opaque ones. That would have been nice. Head is on a ball joint, a swivel and a hinge for the shoulder. There is a bicep swivel, though it is partially blocked by the smokestack, so you have to snap it past. 90-degree bend at the elbow. Fists are on ball joints, so they have a little bit of wiggle room, but they can swivel with no problem. Torso swivel. And then this is where the figure runs into some problems with articulation. Legs can only kick forward that much, can only kick back that much because they run into the side skirts. The legs can only kick out about that far because there's just not that much room on the actual top of the hip. Thigh swivel and generous bends at the knee that, really, when you try to bend them, there is a lot of force required, but once they go past that first click, you're good to go. The feet are on these weird ratchet ball joints that can go forward and back, and they have a little bit of side-to-side movement, but not much. I would have loved to have, had the ability to give... You know what I'm going to say. I would love the ability to actually move side to side, cut this off a little bit maybe. But then again, the figure also doesn't have any heels, which is really weird, so unless his feet are flat, he's gonna fall over on his face. Wait, no, that's not right. I meant his butt. He's gonna fall onto his butt. Removing the fists to replace them with other hands is not super hard, but it does require a good chunk of effort. And then slide into that pig hole. There we go. The funny thing is, with the axe, if you pull it out just a little bit, the axe can then be posed a little bit. So you can pose the axe a little bit. I actually really like that. He's got one pointing finger, two closed fists, two hands that he can use to bless you with the powers of G1, let you be cured, and a hand that can hold his iconic ion rifle. Unfortunately, in what I can only describe as a massive flaw, he doesn't have a port on his back, butt, or crotch that he can be plugged into a stand with, which sucks. So you've got to use this old-fashioned grabby stand that I've got, and that's the only thing that I can use to put him on a stand. And unfortunately, he lacks the posability to pull off his iconic movie pose of, jumping in the air and blasting some bots. One other minor issue that I have is that the Matrix comes unpegged way too easily in there. You can see that it's just flopping about, and even if you can open his chest with the grabbing hands, the Matrix just tumbles right out most of the time. If you've been hankering for a pretty darn posable Optimus Prime that unfortunately doesn't transform, then you're not going to find anything better unless you dig up the old robot Damashi figures. And even then, those things, they off-gas like a mother, so they stink after a while. But this Prime is pretty darn good and generally available. I picked it up over at Walmart.com. It doesn't appear to be in stock anywhere else in my area. Overall, would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. I think it's a fun figure. So folks, let me know what you think of JoJo Prime here down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.